Welcome back to FOF, ladies and gentlemen. After one heck of an incredible performance from one of our returning teams, HBK, we're diving straight into Game 4. We have another one of our returning teams of the league and Season 3 champions. We have Universal Basic Income on the blue side. And opposing them on the red side, we have Team Azurth, who are also making a return to FOF. Once more, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside me, we have Therocles.
Yep, back here, back in the digital, not the flesh. Thanks, coronavirus. Just kidding, we don't have a studio anyway. But anyway, like you hyped up, we've got two very fantastic teams winning Season 3. And although TAS had a pretty shaky season, season 3, they were third place in Season 2. So definitely a team that's shown they have a lot of strength and synergy. And they were missing their star player, Dodie, Season 3. Currently back, and we're really excited to see what they perform. Taking a loss yesterday was probably a little disheartening, but I mean, TAS has really strong mental from when I've talked to them, so I imagine that they're refreshed and ready to come right back for Game 2.
And I am excited to see them perform. These two teams definitely have history being in previous FOF seasons, and they definitely have a lot of blood between each other. Let's see if that blood will get spilt here on the Rift today, as Set and Graves, two good picks, are being locked in for the side of Universal Basic Income, whereas on Team Azurth, locking in the Kaisa and the Gnar, securing themselves some response to any sort of tank threats and just flat damage in general, honestly. As Gnar and Kaisa both have that health percent mechanic, and Victor being locked in for Universal Basic Income. Civilock, he's coming back with a vengeance, ladies and gentlemen. We've all seen this Victor before.
Yeah, definitely Civilock is nothing to mess with, especially on his control mages. He does a very fantastic job and always puts up really strong numbers. For a second there, I thought it was going to be, the dreaded Graves mid. I think that some of us have been running into on the Rift this season, but with the Victor, but definitely Victor's going mid, I imagine, which means are we going to see the jungle Graves? If so, I think the Nunu pickup here is pretty solid.
Definitely so. I'm excited to see some Nunu. I don't think I've seen any Nunu in Season 3 of FOF, so that is an interesting champion to pull out here, as I have started to see more of a return of this champion, and he's quite an interesting champion, might I say myself, as Yone is going to be taken out for Team Azurth, as Ziggs and Samira so far are being taken out for Team Universal. And let's see what the last ban is, as we got 18 seconds on that. We have some history between these two teams here, Therocles. Would you like to touch on a few of the points, returning members, or any specific matchups we've had between these two teams?
It's definitely kind of hard to point out a solid one, especially with Universal Freelancer being out currently and Joshi subbing in. I would have thought, the top matchup between Freelancer and K1ZZ, definitely a strong one. However, I guess definitely another solid one would be between Brian Sang and Onbo. In Season 2, Onbo is voted the #1 MVP as far as supports go, and then last season, Brian Sang went ahead and stole that spot. So definitely, the collide of very, very good supports. I would say they're both very big playmakers. Looks like YUBI wants to go ahead and bait it. I'd be surprised if they ran it. I mean, it is pretty good on especially on the Victor combo. It could give them a lot of leverage to carry, but I don't think, Utility Monster, from what I hear, he's a dictator and won't let that happen. Yep.
As it is going to be the Gragas, and that looks like a Gragas support with the Draven. Jeff God Gamer is coming back with a vengeance with these aggressive picks.
That is straight. So in that case, it's definitely not Graves support. So Graves set support and Graves top. An interesting choice.
That definitely could be so. There's a lot of flex potential here. Could be the Gragas support with the Graves jungle. Could be the Graves mid with the Gragas jungle. And there's many possibilities here with a set support potentially and a Graves top. That you could flex this in so many different ways, and we can honestly sit here all day and talk about it. We got a Viego and a Swain locked in for Team Azurth, and I am confident to say that is a Swain support, and that is the first of its kind here in FOF, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen this champion played in 80 carry and mid before here, but support, this might be a new one, and Onbo is going to be the one piloting it. I am excited to see where that one's going, as they have locked in a very solid champion. What do you think about the Viego pick in this game?
Bago's just a very all-around solid champion. Especially into maybe it looks like the mid matchup. I don't think it's going to do particularly well in the Victor, but it does provide a lot of disruption in their team, so it can bypass a lot of the early struggles, I believe. Which I think with TAS, they're kind of a win lane, win game kind of strat. And I think Doty was kind of the star as far as bringing together before. And I was actually expecting a Kha'Zix, controversy or contingency on pickup. So I'm kind of sad it didn't come out, especially after Utility Monster's strong game yesterday. But with that, I would probably say I'm going to give my edge to Universal Basic Income. That their flex is very hard to prepare against, and their skill is just very high, especially from yesterday's game.
Definitely so. I'm going to give the fan favorite team, Universal, my vote as well, as we are going to be going into game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Last one of the night. Let's make sure it's a banger of a game, as it is going to be the set support Graves top and Gragas jungle. So many ways you could flex that, but that is what is going to be locked in for Team YUBI, as it looks like it's an all-around 5-point for both teams, sort of setting an established sort of lookout for any possible invades, but I don't think any of them are going to be incoming. As let's touch on a few of the starting builds. There is a lack of Dorans on YUBI's side. We have 2 longsword starts and this one is a doozy, but I see where he's coming from. We have a Sapphire Crystal start for Victor. What do you think about this?
Definitely kind of interesting choice. I assume Civil Lock is just assuming he's going to dominate the lane. Doesn't really need those, very nice beginning stats from the Dorans. So as long as he respects and tracks the Nunu, I think it'll work out for him. If he doesn't, it's going to definitely not having those early stats will be very punishing. Is what I would say on that front. I think in the top though, the Graves just kind of needs the potion. He can definitely shove Gnar in pretty well, as long as he doesn't take really bad early trades.
All right, bot side start for both junglers, as it is per usual here on the Summoner's Rift. Joshi on the Graves top. This is a pick I've seen a lot of recently, and honestly, I am very shocked in how performing a champion like Graves does in a lane, given the sort of common unfortunate, minion blockage that champion suffers from, as Set gets a great E on Onbo. Onbo forced to take a heal from the Kaisa, but it's not going to be enough. Jeff God Gamer is going to take the first blood of the game, as in the mid lane, we're getting another trade, and we got Hisami taking half of his health to the Victor. There's a lot of good trades coming around on all sides of the map, ladies and gentlemen. But Jeff God Gamer lands on first blood.
Yeah, definitely just not really on the side of TAS respecting the early game damage that level 1 Draven has. He's got his Q, everything else is kind of utility. He can put you away that early if you trade, and more importantly, Onbo is still sitting on Flash and Exhaust, so just kind of greedily holding on to the Summoners. So I hope that they have a plan to do something with that, and that being the reason why I wasn't using.
As Set goes for another E on Onbo. Onbo taken very low once again.
No.
Set's going to be going down to the tower, and so is Jeff God Gamer. That's going to be an execute for him, but that's another kill for the Draven. That's 2-1 so far, and that, honestly, for Draven, a noon quiver at 3 minutes. Goodness gracious, we have a fed Draven, ladies and gentlemen.
Noon Quiver and Boots, I just want to point out there. I don't know if we should bother, looking down at bot lane anymore. If we can just, sleep well, hearing the screams of the suffered. The game's not over. Swain definitely can pull it back into mid game, but also still sitting on exhaust is a very good Stein or start to this.
Snowball approaching mid lane. See if that goes around. Nope, just a taxi to the bottom river.
I gotta say though, Doty is at least notorious for their emotes, their masteries. They're very much kind of like a ham. They know when the camera's on them.
And very well so, as Gnar narrowly avoiding that gank. Utility Monster is going to narrowly miss that E onto the Gnar. No gank to be had. Saves this flash on all sides. No kills. Gragas takes the recall. And Hisami getting good pushes on Victor, but really getting punished for it.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting him to be, trading into the Victor this much, especially with the Sapphire Crystal. He should be, in a position to, kind of just hold out and maybe control the wave more on his side. That would have opened up, Nunu to being able to make these early game plays, especially when you want to pick a Nunu, you want to get him on the map with all that pressure that the snowball is taking. But if mid's pushing and boss getting crushed, it really only leaves top. And Joshi's just kind of a really smart player in the way he manipulates the waves and doesn't take risks. It's not really leaving a lot of things open for TAS.
Definitely so. Going for more trades here on K1ZZ as Hismi taking more damage as Gragas comes and throws a barrel his direction. Not going to be taken out. Not going to be taken too far lower than what he is at. Going to take a recall, get some health back, get some items, and bring it back to the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like, Jeff can go ahead and just kind of control the lane. Another refillable coming out on the side of TAS with the Kaisa. Just kind of having to respect the power that Draven has now. The kind of good thing is that, as long as he's keeping his axes up, he's naturally going to push towards you, so you don't really have to, risk too much by trying to break something.
Ooh. Joshi seeing seeing a window of opportunity to get a good trade on K1ZZ. Brian Sang going in for the E. It's going to go pretty wide. Jeff God Gamer is going to get hit by the never move shot by Onbo. Going to make him lose some of his axes, but it's not going to matter too much in the trade overall. Trade in the mid lane going in the favor of Hismi as Civilox taken to half, and there's a Nunu in the bot lane, ladies and gentlemen, but the snowball is going to get canceled by the stand aside, and that puts us back into neutral.
Yep, just kind of just waiting the Nunu. Again, we're sitting a little bit late here. He is, out farming the Gragas at this point, but not, neither of them have really had a huge impact on the map. But again, that's going to be a lot easier for him to accomplish later on the side of Gragas than it is for me.
K1ZZ going for the God play on Joshi, narrowly missing the Gnar, is not going to stun him up or hit him regardless. Joshi going to take that one to the bank and push this lane back out as K1ZZ back in mini Gnar, no ulti to be had.
Yeah, definitely kind of tragic. Definitely puts the things back in Joshi's favor. Knowing that the ult is down, he can kind of shove it back out as long as we're tracking where Nunu is, especially seeing him bot side so much. Probably means that Nard should be, kind of worried about where the lane's going to go. They to his credit though, K1ZZ is actually keeping up with Joshi as far as CS. So when they back, it's really going to be fairly even on items. So I would not be surprised to see jungler impact here pretty soon, assuming one of them doesn't go for Dragon.
Utility monster in the mid lane. Hismi forced a flash out of that one as Civiloc busts the ulti. A flash away from Viego and a flash to chase after him. Civiloc's going to be taken very low, but it's going to be all for naught as he gets out alive. With the Nunu trying to secure it for his buddy Hismi, it's not going to be enough. Nunu's not going to get too much, going to get half health, and Viego's going to go down.
Yeah, I think the kind of tragic thing there too is if Viego ignited, that would have been a kill for him. Definitely kind of seeing on the side of TAS so far is just not committing fully on the resources that they have available to them to secure these plays.
And Dottie with the emote spam as he's holding the way for his buddy Hismi as he gets back to lane. Gotta love Dottie's little emote spams. They're back.
I'm telling you, he's Pam.
Oh man, K1ZZ going in for a trade on Joshi. Going sort of even on it so far. He's taken very low. And Mega Gnar's coming up pretty soon. Flash for flash, and the ignite is dropped from Joshi. He does not have the ulti or ignite anymore, and he is taken very low on mana. K1ZZ gonna have to walk out of that one. And Jeff God Gamer getting another 2v2 kill for himself. Let's see what happened there. He's gonna be walking up here with the CS. And that's going to be a flash from Brian Sang to take him out. And that's going to be an exhaust drop from Swain. It's not going to be enough. And Jeff God Gamer is going to take away the kill and walk out alive.
Yeah. Definitely well played. I like the execution from Brian, understanding, when he can make plays. Definitely, a strong point of YUBI in the stable in the bot lane that enables Jeff God Gamer to play as well as he does. Again, though, Gua was very close to taking out Draven, but did not commit the heal again. So I would just really like to see that these resources allocated in the future games to really clean up some of these plays, and they would find their way back into some of these trades for sure.
And Draven taking that to the bank with a full item at 8 minutes and 30 seconds in the game.
Yeah, shield bow and boots and dagger, which means he's very close to finishing his berserker greaves as well. I'm not sure. YUBI is just accelerating the game, specifically in this bot lane, in a less than favorable side for TAS. The Hex Flash comes out.
Hex Flash coming out. That's going to be Brian Sang taking out Kaisa once again, and Draven's going to pick up that kill once more. We've seen this move before. But in the mid lane, we have a gank from the Snowball Man himself taking out Civlock and giving Viego an edge in this lane finally. We have our hope for Team Azereth as we're getting we're getting a crab for ourselves in the bot lane, securing vision there. That is not too bad for Team Azereth, whereas Draven getting himself more and more kills.
Yeah, definitely. I like the activity that Dog was able to have an impact on the map. Get Hisame a kill here, so I'm really liking that execution. And for the melee, hold on, I don't want to.
How many times I got to teach you this lesson, old man? As we got Set taking that one for himself. The Hex Flash into E combo from the Set. That's the face breaker coming in. And we got the ulti coming out from Brian Sang to take out the Kaisa. Jeff God Gamer going to be 5-1 in this lane. Brian Sang and Jeff God Gamer really doing it big on this one. And Utility Monster coming for the gang in the top lane onto the Gnar. Going to secure that one for himself. As we got Nunu here in the bot lane. Ulti canceled by the Gragasy. Very well played by Utility Monster to save Joshi from that one. And they're going to clear this wave out. And that's going to force a flash out of Nunu. And in the mid lane, Hisame taking a bad trade from Civlock. Civlock busting the ulti to hopefully take him very, very low. Is not going to be enough to take him out. He's staying. He wants this farm and XP, but he's going to take some punishment for it. Lord have mercy, there's a lot going on in this game.
Yeah, not to mention YUBI now going ahead and moving for the Rift Tail. It looks like TAS had an inch, and then YUBI said, actually, just kidding, we're going to take that back. Oh, and this, and this. And this. So it's really kind of just tragic to see, if I knew how to play the violin, I'd bust it out, because this is just kind of sad to watch, I don't know. Somebody can remix some type of soundtrack over this, as it's, just like that like TikTok, just like the sad dog eyes, something like that.
Brian Sang looking for more blood, pulling out the face breaker, but it's not going to find anything. Funny you should mention music, as we have a Nunu coming into the bot lane. That's going to be in Snowball hitting the wall. It's not going to find the Draven. And they're going to get out alive on that one. Funny you should mention music, because I just ordered some harmonicas that should be coming in within a few days. Oh my goodness gracious, Facebreaker onto Onbo and Set damage by himself. I think that was one auto by Draven. Just one is enough to take out Onbo for themselves. And in the top lane, there's so much action going on. Gnar taking the trade onto Joshi. Joshi's going to go down, but Nunu's in the bot lane, and Nunu's going to be taking out Set. That is going to be one of the bot lane kills going over to Team Azereth.
Yeah, definitely the Adobe Creative Cloud replay coming through here definitely shows K1 ZZ finally showing an advantage here on the Gnar. The Phage proc is definitely great, especially with that the Sheen procs just one after another. Go ahead and blaze Joshi out finally. Definitely, it looks like Team TAS on the top side, they're not doing too bad here. It looks like they do have a saving grace. Draven is far ahead, so as long as they don't let you keep putting the gas on it and maybe trade a few things early, maybe the next dragon or so, I could definitely see this Viego, and if K1ZZ can get a very clutch ult, it can definitely go back into their favor. So It's definitely far from over.
Definitely so. 5-1 Draven does look pretty scary if you are Team Azereth. There, like you said, there is hope in the world with Gnar, Nunu, and Viego doing well for themselves so far, securing themselves a Cloud Drag, which it is going to be the Ocean next. So that leaves us with an Infernal or a Mountain for either team. We got ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm excited for this one.
Oh, for the love of TAS, please don't play Infernal. This Raven does not. Oh, not again. I can't.
Oh no, busting out the heal to get in range for the auto. Gua's going to be taken out for a 5th time, and Onbo's falling right behind him. That's a total of 9 kills in this bot lane, and he's running in the glory, ladies and gentlemen, doing the back spam to get it for himself, and Rift Herald in the mid lane to get themselves some gold for Civlock, Joshi, and Utility Monster Brian Sang off to the side, has the flash. If Hisami does get spotted out, this could mean trouble for him as they push it into the second tier tower, gets the charge, but Nunu coming in with the snowball is going to secure for himself that 25 gold in his pocket. Brian Sang's in the mid lane now. We got all 4 members looking to take down this tier 2 as it is at a very low percentage of HP. But there's an R off to the side. He did just get out of Mega, so he does not have too much team fight ability. But Joshi is caught out, forced to flash. But we got a set ult to respond to that. Great Victor W to stun up 2. And that's going to be Nunu coming down. That's a double kill for Gragas as Kiz, or K1ZZ, is taken very low himself. And Victor is going to pick that one up. But unfortunately, it is all for naught. Gragas is going to be going down to the tower with a Draven ult on the side.
You remember how I said it's far from over? Apparently, we were a lot closer than I thought. That was kind of rough. At this point, I just gotta ask because I don't remember the math. But at what point does the caster main provide more gold than a champion? Because I think we're getting pretty close there. Is it like 0 and 9? I don't know.
Unfortunately, no matter how many deaths you have as a champion, your gold caps out at 100. So you cannot go any lower than that.
Hello.
Well,
bad news for TAS, good news for YUBI, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. It was close at that moment, but we might have caster cursed it a little bit. Jeff God Gamer looking to display some more dominance in the bot lane. Kaisal coming out. He's looking to finish this one for himself. Flash for a flash. Exhaust is coming out. Jeff God Gamer has stopped focusing the Argua, but it doesn't matter because he has the he has the Sheen proc. He said that was all BM, but we got Hisami in the bot lane throwing out the stuff. It's gonna go wide. Jeff God Gamer's looking for a third. He's gonna push this one in the tower. It's 1 HP. He's gonna be able to take this tower for himself. And Viego, he's got to get himself out of there one, because 9-1 Draven, you do not want to mess with it.
You know, this isn't good for Jeff's ego. I gotta remind myself to leave a note here that Sherrigan's not allowed to put Jeff on the next cast, because there's no way we're not going to hear about this.
And Gnar in the top lane getting ganked by Utility Monster. Utility Monster's not laying off the gas pedal. He is not going to get out alive either, as Josh is going to lane the auto. And that's going to be a nice bot lane fight coming out for Team YUBI as well, bringing 2 very low. No kills to be had. But honestly, if I'm Draven, I'm okay with that. I want to stack. I think Jeff God Gamer has gotten a total of maybe 50 stacks before he's gotten a kill. Man's not making too much use of his passive, but hey, a kill's a kill.
You know, now that you mention, that's probably what it was. And when Hisame came down after he got the double kill, he didn't actually want to kill Hisame because, yeah, he was just building his stacks. That's why he let him free.
It's honestly smart just because of how much gold that passive actually gives. And the solo 1v1 from the support set onto the Kaisa, really displaying some more dominance on this one as top tier 1 does go down. And that is going to be one. We're back to, no, we're not back to neutral, ladies and gentlemen. Civlock's caught out here in the top lane. Hisami and K1ZZ are looking to take him out, and it is going to succeed without fail. Hisami going to secure that kill for himself, making himself even on the 2-2. He's got the Bork. Blade of the Ruined King has the Blade of the Ruined King, but Josh is off to the side. Let's see if they're looking to do something here, as Brian saying is coming up. He's got no flash right now, does have the X flash. Here comes the ulti from Set. A Haymaker is going to get pushed to the side by the Gnar, so it is not going to get the true damage, but it doesn't matter. Utility Monster and friends are here to secure it up, and that is going to be 2 kills for 1 in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely good by YUBI. Again, they're just not letting up on the gas here. They're accelerating the pace of the game, taking 1 tier turret and the next. The ultimate coming through for on, though.
We are not done with that one yet. We needed a 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. And how about a 4th, as a TP from Civlock on the farming Kaisa in the bot lane is going to be enough to take out the Kaisa. A nice ulti from the Gragas. Explosive Casket is going to be enough. I said Explosive Cascade, but honestly, that's not too far off. Explosive Cask is going to put on Bona Casket as we got teed up in the top lane. Getting some multi-action onto Jeff God Gamer. Jeff God Gamer taken very low, but it's not matter. He's taken out 2, and that's 11 kills for the Draven.
Oh my lord. Aye. I was literally gonna say that at least Kaisa's getting some gold in the bottom lane, maybe finding a way back into that. And I think Civillock heard my thoughts, just heard them. It was like, not on my watch.
Just when you think it's over, it's not.
Draven,
oh man, we have 11k gold from the Draven. Civillock not in a good spot right here. Oh, gonna give the kill right back to Gua. Gua is gonna take that back. He said, "You come for me in my lane? No, we're even that one up." As Ocean Drake is up at 19 minutes. Once again, I said it before. You think it's over with the fighting? It's just not. But not all for naught. Team Azereth is on the dragon again. That's going to secure 2 for themselves. Deracles, take it away.
Are you sure? Because I think it's not done. I think we're good.
I don't think it's done either. As Brian Sang's looking for a haymaker on Gua. That's a 3-man explosive cast. And that's going to take 2 very low and 1 to the grave, as Gua is going to be taken out next. Utility Monster living up to the name, but that doesn't look like a lot of utility. That looks like damage, as Jeff God Gamer's off to the side, taking Hisami very low before he can even get to the fight. And that's going to be an ace for Team Azereth. There cannot possibly be any more fighting for a while. Take it away.
I was going to say, you remember the last time we cast together on a TAS game? I'm going to say the same thing I said there. Do you need me? Because it feels like the fighting just won't cease. And who needs color casters? I think TAS just has something personal against it, and they're just trying to put us out of business. So play-by-plays, remember, if you're listening, if you're watching, make sure to have some water nearby on the TAS games, because you're going to need it. It's brutal. It's relentless. Your mouth will be drier than the Sahara.
Oh my lord, but you love to see it. The action is what we live for here on FOF. Good on you for remembering that it was a TAS game. That was a long time ago too. That was a fun time. We're back, we're respawned, and you know what that means. When there's champions alive, it means there's killing to be had. And Joshi is no stranger to that one, as he takes out the Gnar for a 6th time in this game. Gua already taken the half. He is 1 victory away from death, as the second part of it doesn't land, but a flash auto from Joshi is. And they're going to push up this bot lane and take the second inhibitor of the game. No Baron needed. This is a team deathmatch, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. A team deathmatch with the gladiator himself, Draven. It's just hard to take those battles. And oh my god, we still have a joke.
Yes, okay. Dancing Shelly, as 3 members get hit with the explosive cast. Nunu getting put down, and Onbo isn't going to be able to flash away from that auto. We have a Shelly ending the game with us, ladies and gentlemen. Look at her go. She is excited as we are for this one. She is walking off the screen. That is, okay, there she goes. Yep, we love to see it. Victory for Team YUBI, and it wasn't even close, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. Make sure in the chat you vote for your MVP of this game. Is it going to be Joshi, Utility Monster, Civillock, the man himself, Jeff God Gamer, or the setup himself, no pun intended, Brian Sang?
I know what you're all thinking. Yes, Jeff God Gamer did very well, but what if instead of doing the obvious choice, we all decided to troll him to make sure his ego doesn't get too big, and we voted for somebody else, okay? I can't do it. It's it's fine. Anyway, just a phenomenal performance. I think TAS, even though that game was accelerated really fast, they had some really strong plays on the top side. They don't have specifically K1ZZ, especially taking a kill on Joshi was very, very well. Kisame also in Doti got a kill on the Civillock. So there's definitely stuff that they could have done, especially with that Draven barely getting out of certain situations. So if the bleeding was continuing a little bit more, they probably would have picked something else up if it was against different.
Oh my lord. I couldn't ask for a better showing of YUBI's performance. Jeff God Gamer, you said it yourself. He's got an ego, but he's got skills behind that ego. Let me tell you that. Jeff God Gamer on the Draven, 14-1 with 25k damage. And honestly, I do want to point out Utility Monster was on point with those engages and those ults. A lot of damage coming out from him regardless. Joshi on the Graves top, got to give it to him. Civillock holding it down as always. And Brian Sang, I haven't seen more clean set E I haven't seen a better face breaker in a while. Brian Sang, good job on the set. Goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up all the games we have for you today. Stay tuned with us because we are going to have an interview from our winners that you get to vote for in the chat. Do not forget, let us know who you want to see as MVP of this game. And honestly, that's a pretty successful day if I do say so myself. From FOF, the Luna League, we will see you in a couple days for Helios. My name is Whirler, and joining with me,
Therocles. Again, we'll see you back on Thursday for week 2, day 1 of the Helios League.
Definitely so. Don't go anywhere. We have an interview coming your way, and we will see you guys very soon. Have a great night, everybody.
No, I was so scared.
Hello, friends. Chris Edgeworth again for our final interview today. It is the end of our first week for Luna, and I am joined yet again by Brian Sang on the desk. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been too long, and, YUBI is starting off with, to a surprise of nearly no one, except for maybe BBZ. YUBI is out here with the 2-0 start to the weekend. And absolute blowouts on both ends of this for you. So I want to tip my hat to you. Yesterday we got to hear from Jeff, but this is the cross examination for supports here. Have you on the stand here, Brian? This is the Brian Sang diff through and through. I've seen it day in and day out for us here at Friend or Foe. This is nothing new. So what's it like for you bringing back the classic Brian Sang diff, and how's it playing the dominating victories with Jeff in the spot lane?
Yeah, well, Jeff is that kind of player that really likes to be the superstar of the show. So, whenever I can enable him to, show his mechanical prowess and allow him to, get to the top of the KDA leaderboard, I have to oblige him. It feeds his ego, makes him play better. So it's definitely in my contract to, just help him out any way I can.
It's one of those classic you just have to know how to deal with the person. It's just managing the talent, so to speak. Jeff will just pop off as long as you just let his ego get super huge, and you just manage him, just make sure he doesn't touch any hot stoves or run into any sharp corners, and he's all good.
Yeah, he played particularly poorly today. I was watching him E backwards and miss his autos, but in the end, the advantage we got in bot lane was just a little too much to matter. So even though he ended up misplaying it, he looked very, very good today.
Another player that I would like to highlight from this team in this dominating 2-0 weekend, not even your final form, believe it or not. You folks are subbing in with Joshi in the top lane with the double Ignite matchups for this weekend. Talk to me a little bit about what it's been like working with Joshi on the roster for this week.
Right, so we've actually played with Joshi before in our roster, before we started playing in FOF. Before we actually started playing on YUBI, Jeff and I actually played on a roster that was more similar to Rex's roster, and typically in those rosters, Joshi was our primary shot caller, and our draft captain in those. So we did have a lot of experience with him coming into this match. In terms of what he brings to the team, he's a very calm, collected voice that makes sure to keep tabs on us and keep us in check from running too rampant over the game. Just to make sure, that we keep our heads cool, that we don't tunnel vision ourselves into into bad decisions, just trying to pad our KDAs or doing other things.
Yeah, I mean, that's never happened with this team before, padding KDAs. I mean, who would even say something so reckless? But, moving on from that, I just want to say, as I touched on a second ago, this is not the final form of this. We're going to have the full roster hopefully back next week. And what are your thoughts on how YUBI can do in this league? As I asked Jeff yesterday, you set your sights, all the way at grand finals immediately? It seems pretty likely.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely, our first goal is to definitely get that, or for me at least, is to get that 7-0 first half. I really want to get Jeff that Catboy outfit. That would please me very greatly. When we have Freelancer back and we reach our final form in quotation marks, we'll definitely have to adapt a little. We haven't been able to get as much practice in because everybody's been having to get back to work or do work trips. So we'll definitely have to make sure that our synergy is on point coming on to next week, especially that when we're playing against H-Block, which we think is one of the stronger teams in this league as well. So we'll definitely make sure to prep a lot for next week, and we're hoping that with Freelancer back, we'll be able to continue our dominance just like last season.
Yeah, and of course we saw last game that H-Block put on quite a showing for them, and that will be quite a matchup to be looking out for as we go down the line. Brian, thanks so much as always for the interview. Before we step away, would you like to leave us with any final thoughts, any shout outs, any banter on the desk?
We really wanted to end this game very quickly, or at least I wanted to end this game very quickly because yesterday Final Fantasy 14 was on maintenance, so I couldn't play after our games, but now it is off maintenance, so now after my interview I can log on in and do all and play my game.
The dreaded final boss of Final Fantasy 14 is always the maintenance, as I've been told. So good luck out there, and good luck for all of us out there hoping to see Jeff get the Catboy outfit. That'll be pretty awesome. So Brian, thank you for the interview, and congratulations to Universal Basic Income on this stellar 2-0 start to the week. Folks, we'll be back later this week after the patch change for our Helios League. So please join us again on Thursday, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, when we're hoping to kick off our matches. That's it for us, folks, here for Friend or Foe series. This has been our last game of the day for Luna League, and we'll be back on Thursday. So we'll all see you then.